All right. Hello, everyone. We are live. Welcome to class. I'm so excited that you're all here. And also, there's a lot of you that are like super punctual. You've been hanging out for like 30 minutes. So I love it. And you're no different. Tiffany and I have been doing the same thing. So we have been excited. You saw her post early this morning. So we're very, very excited about it. I know, not yet. Okay, so before we bring Tiffany on the stage, just like the thumbnail said, we're going to do just a few logistic things before we get started. Hi, everyone popping in. Oh my gosh, you're just from all over the world. So exciting. So we're going to go through that logistics piece pretty quickly. But I wanted to also reiterate, if you want to participate in the chat, you're going to have to be logged into YouTube to do so. So if you're struggling, that might be why. And then you're also, one second. Why is that on there? Can you, okay. Were you checking something? Okay. So if you want to chat that, and then if you're watching on TV, I'm not sure if you can participate in the chat. So just FYI. If we lose power, if we are the ones that lose power, just hang out in class. We'll be right back. We'll just come right back into the same classroom. If you lose power, you'll use the same link to join back in. So just keep those things in mind. And if you have a question for the chat, we have Adia, our executive assistant here. She's going to be helping out with the chat and links and things like that. Just put question in all caps so that we can catch it. Okay, and then she'll let me know that we have a question and we'll be good to go. Adia, do you want to say anything before we continue?
No.
No, she has nothing to say. Her hair's half done, by the way. Just wanted to put that out there. You don't want to come on camera and show them half your hair? And her hair's soaking wet. There she is. This is the do. She's got like the half do stitch. No? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Can you move the mouse for me, please, off of that? Okay, thank you. All right. So she'll be helping us out. She is a great helper, Terry. Love having her. I think that's it for the logistics, the boring part of class. Before I get into some of those details for class, we love to start off class with giveaways, and we have a lot this time, so I'm very excited about it. I get asked a lot if our international friends are open to the giveaways always. So yes, you are. So just, it's open to any registered participant, and you don't have to be here to win a prize. All right, so I'm going to kind of do this quick because we do have a lot and I don't want to spend all day doing giveaways. But we're going to do the first 5. All right. So first winner we have. So excited. Okay. Glue press. That's a hot item. A lot of people want to try it. Kay Hafen wins the glue press. Yay, Kay. You're going to get a private email too from me to talk about where to send it. Okay. So yay for Kay. Didn't even know it. No. Okay. That didn't go over well. Christmas die and stencil set. Lots of dies and stencils. That's going to go to Judy Leonard Jones. Judy Leonard Jones is the winner for that. The Lou Collins release that recently came out, pretty much the whole thing. I think there's one stamp missing. That's going to go to Carol J. Johnson. Let's see. We have a sentiment dies set, tons of sentiments. That's going to go to Lisa Mon Conduit. I think I said that right. And then image dies. Well, these are all kind of surprise. A whole set of image dies that you're going to get, and that's going to go to Kaylin. So again, you will get emails from me after class to confirm receipt. But yay, congrats to all the winners. Love it. Okay, that's done. Now let's talk really quickly about, that's it. I have nothing else to say. I want to bring in our guest. I kind of rushed through that because I really want Tiffany to come on. So I'm very excited. If you don't know, Tiffany Solorio is a fantastic, bring her on the screen. Here she is. Yay. Okay,
hello.
Yay, we can hear you. Okay, so before I let Tiffany do her own intro, I just have to say Tiffany is one of my favorite people. She's one of my favorite crafty people to watch, to follow, to learn from. Fantastic teacher. I took her alcohol ink class a few months back, and I was floored by how quickly I was able to improve my skills. And she graciously accepted my invitation to come over to Mary Polanco Design's class community and share her expertise. So thank you, Tiffany. Tiffany, I'm going to throw it to you and just do your intro. Let us know a little bit about yourself, and then you can kick us off into class.
Oh, keep going. No, I'm just kidding.
I can keep going.
I'm just totally kidding. I love you too, Mary. Hello, everyone. My name is Tiffany Solorio. I've been creating for about 15 years. And I just have to say that I had alcohol inks in my stash for several years. I used them here and there for some mixed media, like altered projects, but I was scared, like out of my mind, to actually use them. And then one day I just sat down and it just you to actually like get to where you want to be, you have to do. So if you are scared, get those inks out. That's probably why you're here. And we are going to have some fun and hopefully learn something. I hope that Mary isn't setting the bar too high. I'm not some like wizard to like poof, you're magically.
You are.
But hopefully I give you some tips to help you. And yeah, I think that's.
Well, I think, Tiffany, I think you said one of the most important things too, as a reminder for all of us, is everyone starts out a beginner at something.
Yes.
And it takes time and patience and practice and fun and just leaning into it to learn. So I'm glad that you said that, because, we're not going to walk out of here with the skill set of you having put in hours of practice, right? But it's a catalyst to getting us there, right?
Yes. And also, I think it was probably about a year ago or so, I had sat down and I pressed record and I was thinking, oh, I'm going to get this amazing, alcohol ink piece. And it didn't happen. And that's okay too. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. Alcohol inks are very forgiving, but almost to a fault. And when we play, you'll kind of see what I mean, and I'll explain that. But yeah, I'm excited.
Great. Okay, so before we start, I do want to let you know Adi is here to help ask questions for you. And so you don't have to, can you see the chat by chance?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't catch them, that's what she's here for, to kind of ask. As you're teaching, I'll try to kind of like pop in and ask a question.
Okay. I'll focus on, sorry, go ahead.
No, we just had a couple questions pop in already. So just before we get started, I guess. So Lisa says, I have the graphics paper. Do I work on the side that is slightly smoother?
Yes. Mary's laughing. Do you want to explain?
Yes, because I was practicing and playing this week, and I noticed I got a different result on both sides. And so I asked Tiffany about it. I was like, am I doing something wrong? But it turns out that is the best side, right?
Yep. Yeah. I actually was like, I don't know. I've always noticed there was like a slightly, like barely rougher side. So I have a contact with graphics and I was like, hey, and she goes, well, yes, but both sides you can work on. And so yeah, but the smoother side, they say, is the one for alcohol inks.
And that's, Lisa, why you should never label your question as dumb. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Because I've been working on the graphics for many years and I just pull it out and just go for it on either side. So
very smart question. Okay. The next one was, my two fixatives are rock solid in their bottle. Is there any way to fix them, or should they be decluttered?
Ooh, I probably would say that unless you can get the cap off carefully without flinging it everywhere, and maybe stick some isopropyl alcohol in it, I would unfortunately say that it would probably be trash, sadly.
Yeah, it sounds like it, unless someone in the chat has an alternative solution you've tried. Also, just open up your lab and open it up, get in there with some alcohol, see what you got,
Yeah.
Okay, there was one more ADI I saw. What's the difference between low density and high density white alcohol ink? I will defer to Tiffany because I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Okay.
And that's me. I am real. I don't claim to know everything. I am 100% honest. I have no idea. I don't use a ton of white alcohol ink. So the only one that I do use is from Ranger, and it's the white cap. That's the only one that I've used. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I didn't know there was even a difference. So
I am going to, this one doesn't even say high density, low density or anything. So I am going to try to remember whoever asked that, maybe ask it in Mary's Facebook so that I can try to figure that out. Because that's a good question.
It is. It might come up again too. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, can you hit new comments on there, Adia? See if there's any question. Can I save an old alcohol ink project that has died that I used way too much and gone?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, can you save it? Is that what you, okay.
Like, can it be
Can it be
turned into
saved?
something nice? Yes. Or
I believe it
something
could.
different. Yeah.
If nothing else, you can cut word dye out of it, or like there's lots of ideas we'll talk about in the latter half of this. So I would keep it for now. And then Tiffany, do you know if they can use a lower alcohol percentage, like 70%?
I would try it. I've personally never used it because I've always just used the 91%. It will probably just be a little bit different on how the alcohol inks react, but I'm guessing yes. It still has alcohol in it, so.
Yeah, great questions too, because when we and we are still, we're not going to start for a few minutes anyway, but I'm going to say what I'm using and Tiffany's going to say what she's using, and then they're a little bit different. So like I have 99% alcohol, she's using 91%, I believe. Things like that is that right, Tiffany?
Yes.
So,
91%, yeah.
Yep. So things like that will help too. So you can kind of see the different results minus the skill difference. You see how they move.
Oh, your skill is amazing. Come on.
Okay, so let's answer a couple more questions and then we'll get into it. Kaylin says, I have mixatives in a few different colors, but no fixatives. Will I be able to make play in the class? Is that something you'll talk about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
So we'll address that when we go over the differences between things. And then Pam says, what's the difference between alcohol ink paper and UPO paper?
Hi, Pam. So glad you're here. Alcohol ink paper is almost, it reminds me of like photo paper. So you're not going to get as much playtime on it. I personally don't like if you're talking about the Ranger one from Tim Holtz, I don't use it for creating the alcohol ink backgrounds. UPO, because it's like cardstock on the bottom, so it will seep in. UPO paper is completely just plastic, so it won't seep in.
Right. And then, okay, good question. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I believe we're not supposed to spray the blending solution, but isopropyl alcohol is okay to spray?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the blending solution, from my understanding, has resin in it.
Yeah.
So you don't want to, breathe in those fumes.
No, that's right. Okay. All right, cool. Can you hit new comments?
There's one right here.
Oh, there's a question up here. Can you use the microglaze to seal mixatives or pearl inks?
If you're using like a plastic paper, then no, because the microglaze won't dry. I've tried it and it doesn't dry on the plastic paper. So no, you could use hairspray.
Yep. I've done that. I've used that. Okay. And then Cindy makes a suggestion. I think this is great. Can Cardma use alcohol lift to fix her background? I think that's another design idea that she could try out, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. Ingrid's sharing or question. I use the reverse side of glossy photo paper instead of UPO. I think that works well. I get a lot of people telling me that works well. Okay. And Jessica has a question too? Okay, if it's the alcohol we shouldn't spray, don't we all use it to clean our stencils in a spray bottle? Oh yeah, that's what we just clarified. So you can spray the alcohol, just not the blending solution. Good. Well, tracing paper work. I don't know. Give it a try. We're in the alcohol ink lab today, folks. so try it and
grab your surfaces and just play. That's all I mean, because there's millions of different makeups of papers and surfaces. So I would just drop a little on there. If you like it, go for it. If you don't, then scratch the idea. But I wouldn't dump a whole bunch of alcohol ink on every single surface you have. Just try a little dropper.
That's it. Okay, so I know we have I think we're good, right? We had them all. Okay.
Oh, except line also.
Oh, line, yeah. Do I need to fix it if I assume she meant when I use UPO or craft plastic? But I think we'll jump in, and I think Tiffany's going to go over some of those makeups of those things. Okay. All right. So you can make me small, and we're turning it over to our teacher here. Off to you.
Awesome. I just want to go over a couple safety precautions. If you can work in a well-ventilated area, especially if you're very sensitive to smells. If you don't want to get ink on your hands, wear gloves. I don't wear gloves. I don't wear a mask. Usually I have my door open and a fan going, but obviously the fan would probably be quite annoying in a class. So just a couple things to make sure that that's put out there. Work as comfortably as you want. Work outside if that's your thing. Yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to switch cameras.
Okay.
And there we go.
Oh my God, it's so pretty.
Got to swoosh over to my desk here with my microphone and everything. So
I'm gonna be able to vocalize what everyone else is doing right now. So
okay.
pretty.
So I think what I want to do first is do like a little warm up. So you're going to grab one or two pieces of your paper, and I didn't even check. I'm pretty sure I'm on the smooth side. And grab some colors. The good thing about just learning techniques is you don't have to have exactly the colors that I have or Mary has. You can use whatever you have in your stash. So I'm going to take, I will call out the, I'm going to go a little bit closer. I don't know why it's yellow. Is it yellow on your screen? Maybe it's just my screen.
Oh, I mean, slight tint, but not yellow.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the first color I'm going to use is Monsoon. And what we're going to do is I just want to get you to kind of feel how the alcohol inks react on the plastic paper. So we're just going to drop a little drop just right on the paper. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to try and move that around. See, it doesn't quite want to move that much. So why the isopropyl alcohol or blending solution is important is because that's going to allow you to move that alcohol ink quite a bit. So I probably did, let me mimic what I did, probably about 8 drops. I like to put my isopropyl alcohol in these little bottles because it has a really fine tip and I'm able to control it a little bit more than using it in the big bottle that it comes in. And the more alcohol you use, the more wispy effect you're going to get. And I'll go over that a little bit more when we get into like the actual background. But I just want you to kind of get a little feel because I know there's a lot of newbies out there. So, and then when I go into making the big background, when you want it to be a little more wispy, put the isopropyl alcohol on the outside of where the alcohol ink is, and then you're going to slightly blow that back into the ink and then blow it back out. And then that's how you get that wispy effect. I'm showing you here now because when I start working on the big background, I will probably just kind of get in a little bit of a zone, if that makes sense. Because, yeah. All right. So,
I think
any questions so far? Also, I did suggest, this is definitely preference of what you like to use. Some people use a straw. I would get really lightheaded using a straw. This is a hair dryer, and I think I picked mine up for like less than $15. I think someone said that they found it at Target for like $12 or something. It does come with an attachment, but you don't obviously use the attachment. But I'm not using this today only because of the noise factor.
Yeah.
But I'll show you real quick what you would do if this is your choice. Okay. And it is definitely a choice. So what you would do, I guess I should plug it in real quick. Sorry.
No.
Just real quick. I'm just going to show one little, and then that way whoever is going to use it can kind of get an idea. So you're going to start on the side. You're not going to directly put the dryer over top of your ink because you're going to just move it everywhere. So you're going to put the dryer on the side of the ink and then kind of move it that way, if that makes sense. And then kind of move that around like that. I hope you can see that.
Yep, we can see and hear you fine.
Okay, perfect. I always worry about the dryer.
Well, the microphones we're using are pretty great because they block it out and I can hear you.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you're going to push it from the side and a little bit close. And this dryer is nice because it's not hot, because you don't want to use like an embossing tool because it will get too hot and it'll dry the alcohol ink way too fast. So, I hope that helps anybody that is going to want to use the dryer. I'm going to put this back.
So we have a question. I don't think I have alcohol in a bottle. Can I use alcohol blended solution?
Oh, yes. Yep.
I think that's great. I am actually, for those of you curious, I'm using my daughter's old like facial oil bottle. It's just like it. I got this one from the Dollar Tree, but I also have hers on standby. But they're like pipette things. So anyway.
The pipette type of. Oh, I didn't grab any of the pipes. And I was. There we go. Good thing I have my alcohol drawer all nice and ready to go. It's funny because I went into a Zoom last night, late night, and I was like, I just want some company. And I was telling them in there that like I'm getting ready and I'll forget something. And there it was. I forgot the pipes. All right. Any questions? Everybody a little more comfortable with their alcohol inks?
Yeah. Pam says, I'm getting lines when I blow with my blower instead of the nice wispy curved edges. Is there something to do differently to prevent that?
If you're using like a blower like this, you want to do little pumps like this, not like a whole, because then that's going to just push it out really far. Let me show you. Yeah. Like that. See how I'm like pushing it really hard?
Yeah.
And then it gets those lines.
I love that tip. The short little bursts was very helpful. And then also, I think, and I don't want to speak for the entire crafting community, but I think we have a habit of putting too much. So I know for me, it was the notion of like, no, really, you need more alcohol or blending solution than you do ink.
Right.
To get that look.
And as you play and kind of learn your style and what you like, there's a million different ways to create with any medium, but especially alcohol inks. I tried to take some classes learning how to make flowers with alcohol inks. This lady, she's amazing. And I could not get it. I spent 2 days trying to figure it out and I got frustrated and gave up. And that's my bad. I probably could have ended up getting it if I kept with it, but yeah. So
okay, lots of questions, Adia. Okay, what do we got?
Read them.
Just point to it with the thing. Okay, Pam. We did that one already, babe?
Oh, cool.
All right. Why am I getting lines of circles on my ink? And why is there a tinge of pink on the outside? Orly, what color are you using? And why am I getting lines of circles on my ink? Tiffany, do you know what that means?
Yeah. If you're using Yupo paper, it tends to stain depending on what color you're using. So I think that might be what they're talking about. I'm not 100% sure unless I kind of see it. It's hard to, unless you explain it a little bit more. But so I swatched out all of my alcohol inks, and like this one is pink sherbet, and it has a tint of blue in it. Most of these have some sort of, because when you make a color, there's lots of colors in it. So you're going to get, trying to find one now.
Yeah.
That has like this one is currant. It has like a blue and almost like a brown in it.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I decided to swatch my alcohol inks out this way, because then I could see, like, if I really wanted a true orange, then I probably wouldn't use Valencia because it has a lot of yellow that shows up. And it's going to be different with each brand as well, too, because every, the chemicals that go into each ink is different.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Great.
hope that makes sense.
It does to me. Yeah.
Do those,
Okay.
does that answer the question?
I think so. Linda had a similar question too about the bloom. I think if you are in the Facebook group, this is a great plug for that, to join afterwards and kind of post your questions and let Tiffany see what you're talking about would be great.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Especially like if you're using like a Yupo paper, then it's gonna stain. It's gonna leave like a little bit of a stain underneath. Some people like that, and that's really great for certain techniques and looks. But that's another reason why I love the craft plastic, is because it doesn't stain. I think I only had, and I can't remember, I believe it was a red that stained it. And it was very faint. So for like the moss, going back to the color thing, this is green, but there's a lot of blue that shows up on it. So you're going to get some color variations.
Okay. Good. Okay. Adia, did we get any more?
Just the last one. No questions.
No questions? Okay. I might
Okay.
use
I'm going to set this one aside, and then if everybody's comfortable, moving on to a super simple technique. We all probably know how to do this in some form. It's smushing.
You are.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry. We're going to smush the alcohol inks together and then create two backgrounds. This can either go really, really cool or kind of funky, but I love using these for, and I don't know what techniques Mary has to finish off cards, all of what she's doing, but I like to take the alcohol ink backgrounds that I do this with and emboss them and then kind of sand off the raised area. So we're going to go in with, and I'm going to use pretty much the same colors just to keep it easy. Monsoon, and then we'll use a little bit of wild plum and boysenberry. And what I like to do is just stick a few drops, and I like to go darkest to lightest. So I'm going to go monsoon on top, and then a little bit of the boysenberry.
So Tiffany, Adia was sitting over here with sheer envy. So I put her at the top table now.
Awesome. All right. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of wild plum down at the bottom. And then I'm going in with some 91% alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. And then we're just going to drop quite a bit, not too much, because you don't want this to be very, what's the word? You want it to be a little more concentrated. And then we're just going to blow this out just a tad bit.
Tiffany, did you put the alcohol ink down the color first or the alcohol?
On this one, the color first.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. And then we're just going to take the other blank paper and then kind of coat it with a little bit of the isopropyl alcohol. And then a little bit more on here because I dried it just a little bit too much. And then you're going to take the blank paper and then smush it right over top of the one with the color. And then I like to do a little dancey dance on top of the paper. and then with my fingers, kind of smush it in. And then you're going to pull it up. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. Let me know if I'm going too fast. And then you're going to take it and then you're going to try and slide it like this. And then you kind of get something cool. And then you can blow it around, dry it. Hopefully I'm still on camera. Yep. And this could be like the base of something really cool. Like this doesn't have to be the end result of a background, because you can add stamping to it. You can, like I said, I like to use these for in my embossing folders. And then I wish I would have pulled some out, but to show you. And then I take a nail buffer, which of course I don't have one. And then I sand off the raised areas. So there you go. Just like that. Something simple.
So fun.
Yeah.
Julie said too fast. Julie.
Sorry.
No, I was trying to do some narration in the chat too. I said smushy smush, then dancey dance.
Oh.
Okay, would I? Yes. I can only go so slow because the alcohol inks do dry pretty fast. So I can do it again so that we can, let's see. Put those aside.
So while you're setting that up, I'm going to show
Yep.
Adia's a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
Be proud of me.
Okay, Adia, show yours in frame a little bit better. Go in frame a little bit better. Look at that. It's so pretty.
Ooh. Can you say what colors you used? Because those are really pretty.
Okay. I use gilded alloy. It's gold. And then I used aquamarine blue.
So pretty. And look at all the color variation that you get too. Very pretty. All right, now she's getting me to want to use different colors too now. All right, so you're going to take, I'm actually going to put a little bit of the isopropyl alcohol down first this time. And I'm going to take a little bit of cloudy blue and a tiny bit of pool and mermaid. Whoops, that squirt really fast. Okay. Then a little bit more isopropyl alcohol. And then we'll kind of blow this out a little bit. You don't want to blow it out too much or else it will dry completely and then you won't get any smush.
Okay.
Okay. Then we're going to add just a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on this side.
Oh, we're doing
some
another
of you might. Sorry, go ahead.
No, we're doing another smushy smush. This is good.
Oh, yep. Some of you might have to watch this. So there's an option to what you have the replay, correct?
Yes.
So there's an option to slow it down. So you might the replay to slow it down a bit because I try to go as slow as I can without you know, the alcohol ink dries fast. So
yeah. No, I love that they actually asked that question. Can we slow down the replay? I think that's brilliant because I didn't even think of that. And
yeah,
that's perfect because yeah, that's why the replay is so great.
Yep. All right. And then we're going to take, I'm going to kind of play with this one a little bit while everybody does their smushy smush. I like that smushy smush. And then I'm just taking the isopropyl alcohol and then I'm kind of looking at my backgrounds here and then I'm saying, okay, I don't want this harsh line here. So I'm putting the isopropyl alcohol on the outside of where the color is. And then I'm going to blow it. And again, I'm not like squeezing it hard, just light and then blowing it back out. See, I waited too long. Yep, there we go. And then you'll end up getting some of that wispy. And you can even take, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use a paper towel. You can even take a paper towel. And if you don't like an area, you can take the isopropyl alcohol and then just erase it. Now, not all paper you can do this with because some of them, again, do stain. So there we go.
I would choose a color. Okay, choose a color. Yellow and the aquamarine and silver. And let me see the silver so I can shake it for you. Just a reminder, your mix, your alloy and your mixative need to be shaken up, right, Tiffany?
Yes, pretty good, yeah. And then if you're using a alloy or mixative, you should use blending solution unless you're going to seal it with something after, or else it will end up kind of wiping off over time.
It flakes off. I learned that this week.
Yeah. And you don't even need a lot either. And I think I heard Tim Holt say that even if you mix it in with the alcohol ink, it will kind of set that liquid as well. So I'm getting slow down. I'm so sorry.
Use this instead. Oh, careful, it comes out.
I think
I see Amy is not giving up her seat anytime soon. That's so pretty, Tiffany. That's exactly the wispy look that I seek right there.
Yeah. Oh, this one probably. Well, now I smushed it. Okay, so when I was taught a little bit earlier, I think it was in the beginning, I said that alcohol inks are very forgiving, which is a good thing and a bad thing. And I'm going to show you on this one because I like that part on that one. So I'm going to set that aside. So for instance, if I say I like all of this that goes on here, but I don't like this, I'm going to mess up on purpose. Okay. So I'm going to just put a bunch of the isopropyl alcohol. And I think it's important to see kind of what not to do to kind of understand what to do, if that makes sense. So I love this and I put way too much isopropyl alcohol and I'm going to end up blowing it over there and messing that up. So you really have to be, if you're going to want to fix something, you really have to be careful because it's, again, forgiving, but too much sometimes. So now I kind of messed up my little area that I liked. Okay, Stacy's asking, what do you seal it with? You can use hairspray. I use Kamar varnish, but it's very, very stinky. I had no idea how stinky, and I sprayed it in my craft room, and my craft room stunk for days, even with the window open. And you want to leave it outside to kind of air dry for, I would say, probably all day.
Did
that
you
helps.
say Krylon?
Sorry, what?
Did you say Krylon?
Yes, Krylon Kamar varnish.
Yep.
And then depending on what you're going to do with your alcohol ink backgrounds, because you can even take one that you love and let's see if I have one that I like this one. This one's beautiful. I could take this and frame it, but I would want to put a sealer, a UV protectant over it because it's probably going to be out on a wall. Maybe sun's hitting it. And I use the same brand for that one as well. But I think for cards, I think that's going a little bit too much, in my opinion. Hold on. I have to grab my footrest real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, question. Sometimes when I make alcohol ink backgrounds, they wind up very sticky. Is that from using too much blending solution or too much alcohol ink?
Blending solution.
Okay.
Yep. And
what is a technique we can do with the sticky parts of our alcohol ink? I know one. I know. I would add oil.
Oh, okay. There you go. See, I was like, I have no idea because I
Yeah.
actually had some when I was organizing my backgrounds quite a while ago. I had some that I made. I'm like, I made these years ago and they're like stuck together.
Yeah. Yeah. Sue was saying she's watched several videos about how to make your own alcohol inks and just curious if you have thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're seeing it too, or
Yeah, so I tried to make some with Sharpies. The colors you get are actually pretty interesting. They do kind of work. You can take some old alcohol markers and soak them in some, which I'm sure you know if you watch the videos, soak them in some isopropyl alcohol to make colors that way. There's some cheaper versions of alcohol inks on like Amazon. I've used some of them. They're perfectly fine. You don't have to spend a ton of money on getting the Ranger or any other brand out there.
yeah.
All right. So are we caught up? Because I have about, I think, 20-ish minutes maybe to do the big background.
Well, you have a little bit more time. You have about 30 minutes left.
Okay, that's perfect. All right. So if we're ready, we're going to move to the bigger, and you don't have to do this on a big background. I just like to do it this way sometimes because, well, I'll show you. So what I like to do is, and you can do this on 8.5 by 11 piece. I like to use the 12 by 12. So what I do is I take the bottom and the top portion and I create all of my inking there. And I probably could even go on the sides a little bit, but that way, because I like a lot of white space, I can cut these down and kind of pick and choose the areas that I like the most. And then I can make my cards or art that way. So I hope that helps. Because sometimes working on, which is funny because I get a little intimidated by working on smaller surfaces than I do bigger surfaces. And a lot of people are the opposite of that. They get intimidated by working on bigger surfaces. So I'm going to grab my paper here.
Adia, this is beautiful.
Oh, can we see?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Really pretty. Oh, see.
And we'll get into, I'm going to be using some of the, oh, not foundry wax. I don't want to use that. There it is. So they look semi-similar. They're both statue. So when I was getting ready last night, I pulled out my foundry wax instead of the alloy, but luckily I have my alloy right there. So anyways, we're going to use a little bit of alloy as well. I like to use the statue. It's just what I like. All right. I'm going to shake, shake, shake before I get started. All right. And as you play more and more with your alcohol inks, you're going to find your groove. I'm going to actually zoom out a little bit. There we go. Of how you like to work. I kind of switch it up. Sometimes I like to go, when I'm doing a bigger background, I like to put all my color down. And then sometimes I like to work in smaller sections. So you just kind of have to figure out what your groove is because it's your own creative process. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember years ago, somebody was doing, I can't even remember what it was, but I tried it their way. It was something with distress sprays. And I was like, yeah, I love that, but it's the process of how she's doing it. And so I tried it a different way, got the same result, but just did it a different way. So, all right. So I'm going to use a little bit of Monsoon, Boysenberry, Jekin is asking, when you use alloys and mixatives, is there a tip or hint you can share? Okay, so real quick, and if you got the download, my PDF, it explains what the alloy or the alloys and mixatives, why they're different from each other. The alloys are going to create like these really nice, like veiny clusters on your projects. The mixatives are going to basically like mix in with your alcohol color, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
All right. I'm sweating over here. I need a little drink of water.
Yes, please. you take your time. Slow down if you need to. Adia's back on the keyboard, just so everybody knows.
Oh, you booted her?
She gave up her spot willingly, I think.
All right. So, let's see. Do you always have to seal the fixative after? Yes and no, Colleen. You can kind of feel like on this one, I used enough blending solution that it's not flaking. Well, this part up here is, but this part down here isn't flaking off on my finger. So I probably wouldn't feel the need to seal this one. If you have one and it's flaking off really bad, then I definitely would seal the mixative or the alloy. All right. I'm procrastinating here because I'm a little nervous to start this one. All right. So we're going to go in with just a little bit of colors. And when I do a big one like this, I like to use a few colors at a time. So I'm just going to go in. Let's do a little bit. I think I used pool. And I'm going to work kind of in sections. And we're just going to focus on probably like this bottom portion here. Unless you want to do the whole thing, you don't care to have white space. I like white space, so that's how I'm going to work. You can do your whole background if that's what you choose. All right, and I'm going to add a little bit of this alloy. And a little bit goes a long way. That's another tip. Like one little drop, and you'll see. So I'm going to take the blending solution now. And then you're going to add probably 2 or 3 times more isopropyl or blending solution than you do ink to get a more wispy effect. And then we're going to go in. My hair's getting in my way. We're going to go in with the blower tool. And again, little pumps. And we're just going to kind of move that around. And I'm going to go off the edge there.
So, Tiffany, I'm choosing some fall colors.
Ooh, fun.
Just to go a little opposite of you.
Yeah, these are like my go-to colors. I love them.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
I should be more adventurous, but I'm not.
I'm asking that she call out the colors.
Oh, yeah, the colors you're using again?
Oh, yes. Monsoon is like the darker blue. Then I have Pool, which is like this color there. And then Boysenberry. I think that's all I used. And then the Alloy in the statue color.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to leave this as is. We're going to come back to it and kind of get all that wispy amazingness in just a second. I just want to make I'm going to put the color. I'm actually going to break that up a little bit first. All right, another little tip is if you, like I showed a little bit ago, if you want to fix something and it's like a little tiny area, like say down here on mine, I have like some of those like little feet or like the spider webby things. I don't want to pour alcohol ink on there because, or the isopropyl alcohol, because I could end up messing everything up. So I'm going to take a paintbrush with a little bit of the isopropyl alcohol on it. And then sometimes I even like to blend it out with a paper towel. So I'll take a paper towel with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on it and then take it and then kind of blend it just a little bit. Just like that. And then it kind of makes it a little cloudy looking.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to go in with a little more blue now because I have a lot of purple, and then a little bit of wild plum, and maybe a little bit of mermaid. Come on, this one likes to clog on me. And, oh, the cloudy blue. And then a little bit of this alloy.
I noticed you shook it up every time you use it.
Yeah, just because the mica or whatever's in here will kind of go back to the bottom. So
Yeah.
And then I'm going to put a little bit there. Whoops. All right. Now blending solution. And again, you want to use more blending solution or isopropyl alcohol than you do the ink, the color.
Someone said her husband said it looks like the sun is behind it, Tiffany. I'm not sure what that means.
Oh, maybe right here because it's a little, maybe the light is shining on it.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe the alloy, maybe.
Mm.
All right, and I'm just blowing this around, kind of seeing where I want and it's all going to depend. Like I can't tell you like to blow in any specific area. You're going to have to look and see where you like and what you want to kind of blend together. On your, let's see this. On your project or your background. I think so I want a little. Oh, thanks. Wanted a little bit more blue. So I'm gonna add like that. And then I'm going to blend the blue into the purple and then kind of get that. And then make sure when you're blowing to like move it like back and forth, not just like from the top, because then you're just going to blow it out. So you want to move the ink. Here, I'll show you. Right.
Is getting tiny clumps from the ink normal?
Tiffany, did you hear that?
Yeah. I don't think so. No. Well, if your cap is a little bit, so like you can get like dried up. Sorry, my brain was like going 1,000 different things at once. Okay. You can get dried up stuff on the cap. So my suggestion is not to open it over your background because then maybe that's what you're seeing. Unless it's the alloy or mixative that you're talking about, then you probably just shake it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to take, now I like what's going on here. And like the thing about alcohol inks is, at least that I have found and what works for me is that I'm not 150% happy with this. But if I'm about like 80 to 90% happy, then I leave it alone because I've screwed things up so bad sometimes and I get really mad at myself. So if you're pretty happy with it, then you can take these little chunks that you're really happy with and use those on your cards. Because I think getting something 100% perfect is almost impossible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the blending solution, and now I'm going to do the wispy. Okay, so what I did was I put the blending solution on the outside of the color. So maybe like, I don't know, like a half an inch away from the color. And then I blew it into the color, and then you're going to blow it back out. And see there, I'm talking too much now.
Oh, that's what I forgot to do. Yes, got it.
Yep.
That was a great tip. Yep.
And then you blow it out, and then that's how you get the beautiful wispiness. And I'm not liking this up here because I want that white. So I'm actually going to kind of dab that up.
You know what's great about choosing fall colors is that the mud is welcome.
The mud was on purpose, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Now I'm going to do it again. So we're going to go probably maybe like 2.5 inch line. Whatever you feel comfortable working with to kind of get the wispy.
When is it better to use the straight alcohol versus the blending solution?
When is it better to use the straight alcohol isopropyl versus the blending solution?
So I only use blending solution when I'm using an alloy or a mixative. Otherwise, blending solution is too expensive for me to use all the time. And it does make it, you can see on this one more, it makes it a little more glossy than like this one. Like this is a little more glossy. I don't know if that's showing up. And then this one's a little more matte. So because it has that resin in it, it's going to make it a little more glossy finish, which I don't, I'm not super opposed to it, but I like my stuff a little more matte finish. So I'm going to take more of that. There we go. And then blow that in and then blow that back out. Blow it in and then blow it out. Is this all making sense? I hope. There's some questions. Let's see. I just used the silver mixative that came with my kit, and I don't think I like it. I added it after I dropped my ink colors and then added the blending solution, and it just lays there. Is it the mixative or is it an alloy? And what brand is it? Because that matters too, possibly. You can wipe it off, like take maybe a paper towel and then kind of wipe it off if it's not the mixative Ranger. Okay. I need to move this closer to me, actually. Yeah, if you're not liking it and you can kind of pick it up if it's in one little isolated area, I would maybe add a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, but be careful because if you like what's around it, then you could possibly ruin what you like. All right, I'm actually going to use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. The funny thing is with isopropyl alcohol and blending solution is that you get more playtime with the isopropyl alcohol than you do the blending solution.
You get more playtime with the isopropyl?
I find, yes.
I do too. I agree.
Yeah. The blending solution dries a little bit because I'm not getting what I like. So this is real moment here.
Well, I mean, for us, at least I'm going to speak for me. I think it's gorgeous.
Oh, thanks.
But you know what you're looking for. But I've been using the blending solution this round because I'm using the alloy.
Yeah.
And I did notice that I didn't get as much playtime.
Yeah.
Bye, Corey. Corey's got to leave.
Bye. Thanks for joining. All right. I think I'm going to just wipe all of this up. And then, because that's kind of going up too far for my liking. And I'm just going to pounce, pounce, pounce. All right. I'm going to show you another little trick to maybe get a little more blend in your lines. You can either use cotton ball or this tool here. But I like to use a cotton ball. And you just take a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, kind of dab a little bit of it off. And then let's see if I can get this in frame here. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to do this little area here. So I'm just going to take it and you will get little like fuzzies on there, but you can take some tape and then kind of get it off after it completely dries. And then I'm just going to blend that out a little bit.
I love that they can all see my student face as I'm like,
watching. So, and then you kind of get a different look. There's a million different techniques. You can even do like, I'll take one of these, just as maybe people are still probably working on their one side.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually move this right here. And you can take some isopropyl, a paintbrush, and then add splatters if that's your thing, depending on the look you want. You can, and a lot of these like adding texture techniques are in that PDF download as well. And you can even Google it too. Where's my little, oh, there it is. I actually like to put a little bit of isopropyl alcohol in a mini mister. And then what I like to do, and isopropyl alcohol, not blending solution, and you make sure I say that.
Yeah.
And then I like to just add a little mist, and then it creates like a fun, oh, come on. Some fun texture that way.
Cool.
Yeah. Just depending on what you like, you know.
It almost looked like if you were to do like a galaxy background and then did that, it would make it so easy to get the star look.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see.
Where did you get your 90% alcohol? I just looked on Amazon and it's super expensive.
I buy mine on Amazon. I get this brand, and I think it comes with 6. I use a lot of this stuff. So, and I bought it in bulk because for a long time you can find it anywhere. So,
yeah. So, I got mine from Amazon too, but if you look at the supply list and click Tiffany's supplies, it's in there, I believe. Yeah. Her the ones she buys.
Yeah, in a drugstore, Target, Walmart.
Yeah, drugstore, CVS, Jean said. Question, can you use the alcohol pearls?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we have time. Do we have time today to show, or did you want me to finish the other side, or what you?
No. I don't think you need to finish. I mean, I don't think you need to finish the other side. So,
because it's the same technique on both sides. Yeah.
Yep. And then the great thing about the replay is they can rewatch this exact portion.
Right.
So yeah, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to show us.
Okay. Unless there's questions on this, but we can go back because there's a tiny bit of a delay.
Okay, so I wanted to show while you're getting set up. I wanted to show. So this is the piece I was working on, and one of the things that while I was doing it in real time, I was telling myself the voices coming in my head were like, this isn't going the way you want. It doesn't look. And then I said, quite honestly, if I can just take a corner of this and practice the wisp and just practice a technique. I mean, this isn't, going to be submitted to like Alcohol Inc.'s Experts magazine, right? So why not take the opportunity to just practice? And so I just want to take that moment for everybody else practicing, just see what it does, play with it. Don't think it's got to be a particular something.
Exactly.
Okay, we have a question. My statue alloy looks dull. Any reason why that would happen? Shake it up? Possibly.
Yeah, I would say shake it up. Yeah.
So, okay, Linda, my gold in mine is this, particularly, it is the alloy gilded. So this one right here. And so I don't know if
that one's pretty.
Yeah.
So there, I have them right here. Look at that. Oh, do I not have gilded? Holy moly. No, I do.
Pearls are
right here.
from Ranger, and they have a listen, I don't know. We'll let Tiffany talk about it, but when you put them on the paper, they sparkle real pretty.
Yes. Yep. So I was just going to point out, this is the difference between the gilded and the statue. Like gilded, I find is more like a gold, and statue is more like a brown gold, if that makes sense. Yeah. Just in case you're in the market for which one you want. All right, so we will do a little bit of, yes, you can splatter the alloy, but I would suggest if you do that, then what you need to do is seal it, because I can do it on this one. Let's see. So what I do actually is I have this alcohol ink pan thing, palette, and then I actually just stick a few drops in here, and that way I'm not wasting. And then I even have my paintbrush here, and then you just splatter it right on there. And then depending on, you don't want to add any alcohol or blending solution to it, because I'll show you what will happen on this practice one that we were doing. Is if I add isopropyl alcohol to this to kind of thin it out, what's going to happen is that isopropyl alcohol is going to move the, it's going to push the color away. And I'll show you up close. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how well this can focus. So you can see kind of how that's like moved away. Not too much, because I didn't add too much of the alcohol, but it'll move it away from the splatter, versus this one. If you could see where the splatters are, they're just on there. If that makes sense.
That is such a pretty panel. Oh my goodness.
Oh, thanks.
Wow.
This one, the black one.
Yeah.
This is just the alloy and pitch black. Pitch black is a staple. I love it. It's so pretty.
Okay, I have a confession here.
Yes.
I don't know if it's a confession, but I think my alcohol pearl inks have gone bad.
Oh no.
And so the reason why I'm coming to that conclusion is because they are separating on my paper, and they're sticking. They're not mixing either. So like, I don't know if you can see that, but so I wonder, I mean, I've had them since they came out, so it's possible. And I shook them up real well, but I don't know if anyone else is experiencing that.
So are you using blending solution?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I feel the same
because
about the alloy.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna get some new ones and then be able to compare and see if it's me or them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the pearls won't work with just isopropyl alcohol. They have to have the blending solution to move around. So if you've tried, when I first got them, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, what in the world is this nonsense? Because they were not moving. And then of course I watch a live from Tim Holtz. He's like, you have to use the blending solution. So I'm like, I don't want to buy a blending solution. I'm cheap. So I of course bought some blending solution and then voila, it worked. So all right. Shake, shake, shake. So I was going to show, this is the pearls on, I believe this is Graphics, like a clear plastic. I don't know the exact name, but I love how that looks on there. And my favorite, and I wish I would have pulled some, but is using the pearls on vellum. So pretty.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And then this is one that I made during a live the other day with the pearls. And they're not too shimmery because there's just very like faint shimmer to them.
Yeah.
Which is nice. All right, so let's get into it. Mary's going to boot me soon, probably. She'll be like, okay, lady, your time's up.
No, I don't think so. I'm like, Tiffany, don't look at the clock. Keep going.
Oh, yeah, I'm good. Whatever.
Okay, so let me give you an update. I am now working on, with my alcohol pro ink, on poster board, and I'm getting an entirely successful look.
Oh, nice.
So now I'm all over the map. I don't know. It's true you don't get as much. It dries quicker on poster board, but it's still. Let me show you what I'm getting on my poster board. Adia, can you make us all big?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Okay, can you see that?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it's like really magical.
That is amazing. Did you have gold in there?
I have the smolder.
Ooh, I'm gonna grab that one. The smolder.
Yeah. This is proof in real time. You just gotta play. I don't know.
And you have to give yourself permission to like be okay with, unfortunately, sometimes things just suck. I have things that I'm like, but it's the process of like, you have to like learn what to do, what not to do, what you like, it's all, well, I don't know. What colors did you use? Now I'm learning from you.
Okay, I had Intrigue,
Okay.
Celestial, and Smolder.
Okay.
And blending solution, of course. And the fun thing about it too is like depending on the paper, you're gonna get a different look. Right?
Yes.
So the blending solution, the alcohol ink, the different kinds of alcohol ink versus, and then the isopropyl, like there's just so many combos. You were so right.
Yeah.
I just love that. I mean, really, that smolder is like a brownish, bronzy something with green undertones. I'm going to use this for a card. I've already decided.
All right. Somebody asked if it was you. I'm pretty sure it was either this one or this one that they asked if it was all pearls. And yes, so these were just pearls.
Celestial.
Yep.
Ingrid Celestial. Gina, what is the blending solution made up of? Let me see. Oh gosh, I don't have my glasses.
So old.
I know. I'm there. I'm at that age. Okay, my arms are too short. Contains ethanol, glycerol, ethers, and isopropanol. So that's what it says in there. Do not breathe. Oh, not at all. Just don't breathe it in. Don't breathe. Do not smoke. It's flammable. Oh boy.
That's funny. Mine didn't is not. I need to bust out my poster board.
Oh, Julie says, any advice on using Ranger Distress mica sprays? Didn't you do a class on sprays, Tiffany?
Yes, but not specifically mica sprays. No.
Okay. And then Christine says, do you have, sorry, Julie, I don't have any advice on those, but maybe somebody in the chat can help out with it. We can talk about that. And then Christine says, do you have an example of an embossed and smoothed paper? I don't know what that means.
Embossed and
smooth. Embossed and smooth paper. Like, Christine, do you mean using alcohol inks on those things? Clarify that for us. Okay, Ruth just put in some how she makes her blending solution, so that's cool. Check that out, everybody.
That smolder color is very smoldery.
Yes, they really knew how to name their stuff. Hi, Dina. Question: are there specific brands for the blending solution to use, or is any brand sufficient? I haven't seen any other brand besides Ranger. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know any other.
I like
definitely. Sorry.
No. I like how she put her ingredients to make her own. That was pretty cool because I've never seen anyone but Ranger do it.
Oh, the blending solution? Yeah, I've tried it with glycerin, I want to say. Like a few drops of glycerin, I think. Is that what she said to use?
Yeah.
I can't find the comment, of course. But
what's the difference between
yeah, it was years and years ago that I tried it.
So Deb asked the difference between alloys and the metallics, and I think that's in your download, right, Tiffany?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. We have, can you mix alcohol ink and distress sprays or mica sprays together? Tiffany, I'm going to obviously have you answer, but I say mix whatever you want.
Yeah. The only problem with the sprays, I've never actually tried using sprays on a plastic paper. So I don't know. I would say try it. I don't think there's anything like chemically in sprays that would like be weird.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take
harmful.
a stab at this answer and tell me if I'm on as a good student here, Tiffany.
Okay.
The question is, can you go up a little, honey?
Yep.
Okay. Do you recommend only working on one panel at a time, or can you do multiples and go back and forth? I'm going to take a stab at this.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, you have to consider how things are moving and drying and what products you're using, because if, like Tiffany said, she couldn't slow down anymore because it was actually going to dry up on her and not get her. Oh, yeah. So probably recommend give it a go at first. And then if you notice it's not moving stuff around, just focus on one panel. Tiffany?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep.
Awesome.
And some people can do it. Like, I mean, you just have to find your groove and what your speed is. You know, I feel like I'm a little slow because when I was taking these classes with the lady that was doing the flowers, I was just like blown away at like how fast she was doing everything. And I'm like, you know, slow. So I probably had that feeling too, like slow down.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Nina in the Facebook group had shared that she didn't have the blower tool, but she found her an irrigation bottle or a baby snot bulb.
Oh, nice.
She said it's working fine.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yep.
Thanks, Nina. Yeah.
I did want to say I might actually replace mine only because I've had it for so long and I think it's getting too squishy. Like when I first got it, it was a little more firm. And I'll tell you that my husband has some that he uses to like clean out his computer stuff.
Yeah.
And he steals this all the time. And I'm like, it's so good. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know if it's the amount of air that goes through or what, but definitely use what you have. I of course wasn't going to steal his stuff, but he can steal mine, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I got this one.
That's funny. I know I got mine, the 2-pack from Amazon, and it seemed to work just fine for me today.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, Andrea said, don't shake your alcohol pros bottle when the lid's not on securely.
Oh no.
No, don't do that. All right, Tiffany, over to you to
Yeah.
see what you're working on there, because I kind of was
I
reading.
tried your colors. I really love what's going on up here, but I think I'm going to work on kind of doing something down here to make it, because it's too kind of clustery, but I like this going on up here. But yeah, so that's the pearls. You can kind of see the little shine.
Maybe make us big again. Wait, hold yours there. I'm going to show the,
yep.
the two side by side. My lighting is off, but see what there's so much you can do. And I'm on poster board, folks. So like,
I'm definitely going to have to get my poster board out.
Just try it. And there's some things that don't show up well on the poster board, like certain techniques, I should say.
Okay.
But I can't like really get. So anyway, it's just kind of play, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So, if I could show an example of the black alcohol ink cardstock, because it made me think of what you said, because if that's okay. Mary? Oh, I can't hear you.
My daughter had me muted. She has the power now to do that.
Oh, I was like, uh-oh, what happened?
Yeah, sorry. Yes, please show, please.
Okay. So when she was saying that certain techniques don't show up on the poster board, it made me think of my when I do black alcohol ink, alcohol inks on black surfaces. So this one is like the plastic graphics black. I think it's called like Duralar or Durabright or something like that. And it doesn't, I wish that it would show better, but there's not a whole lot of depth. It's kind of like plasticky looking, which it's all a preference for sure. Okay. But when I use alcohol inks on black, I like to use cardstock, which is kind of funny because I always say use, a non-porous surface, but the black alcohol ink cardstock that is actually now the Ranger Heavy Stock. You get so much depth and like,
oh my gosh, that's stunning.
I don't know if it's showing up or not, but
it is. I feel like I'm staring into the cosmos.
Yeah, like it's so funny because my mom had brought over one of her friends and she was looking and she goes, "Oh yeah," and my mom's like, "I don't see the difference." So like it all, it's preference, Yeah.
Our face. But hang on. Okay, so wait, while you're doing that, I know you have a alcohol ink on dark cardstock class coming up. So please tell us about it.
I do. So the class is going to be making art on a black surface. And then what let me grab this. Then what we do is I'll grab my favorite one here. We mount it on a wood panel and then we'll add resin over top. So don't just think of like, even if you use, if you're coloring or whatever techniques you're using with whatever mediums, don't just think of it just as cards. They can be turned into art just as easy as,
Oh my gosh. So the class, Adia just added the link for anyone who wants to check out her class, but the class is not, it's 1 part, 2 part. What is it?
So what we'll do is the live will be making the art on the black surface, and then the mounting it and adding the resin will actually be pre-recorded because you have to let the alcohol ink dry completely, probably for about like 12 to 24 hours. Then you have to mount it, let that dry for about 24 hours, and then it's a process. So
okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That is stunning. Adia, can you make her big again?
Yeah,
I want to have that on the big screen.
Here's another one.
Okay, let me see. Oh my gosh, so pretty.
I can boost, or actually let me open my.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, thanks. I should have opened my window a long time ago.
Wow, that is so stunning.
So yeah.
And I mean, the class participants, they're not limited to that size even. You're just showing them the technique.
Yes. Yep. And so I've tried to scour the internet before Ranger switched the alcohol ink black cardstock to their regular black cardstock, the heavyweight, to find something similar, and there really isn't anything. And then I actually asked Tim Holtz, I'm like, is there any plans to make this? Because this is the size that it came in, a 5x7. And he's like, well, there's something on the way. And then they rebranded the alcohol ink cardstock to the Distress Heavy Stock. So it's the exact same thing. And I believe it's 8.5 by 11. So
yeah. Awesome.
Yep. I'm gonna grab a little sip. So there's so many different things that you can do with alcohol inks. I think Mary actually did some like coasters or something on her channel at one point. Didn't you? Oh.
Okay, so yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yep. So I made some posters and then I framed and yeah. So yeah, art.
Yep, exactly.
So just for as we're getting cleaned up here, just sharing, I was working on a silicone surface. I find it pretty easy if I wanted to clean it up. When I use smaller, because I was on the 12 by 12 today. So when I use smaller panels, I usually pull out my silicone mat that I have strictly for alcohol inks.
Okay.
So I kind of share that tip of like my surface. I keep it kind of easy to just tuck away if I don't feel like cleaning it perfectly. Yeah. So that's what I was working on. You were working on a glass mat, correct?
Yes.
So that worked out nice. My lighting is not conducive for that right now for the video. So I can't do that.
Oh yeah, my lighting is way better. I should have opened my window a long time ago.
Look at that.
Sorry.
Wow.
And I actually kept it this size because, well, one, I don't know 100% what I want to do with it, but I might take a picture of it. And then what I like to do is I have this, I got it one of my alcohol ink backgrounds, I got it printed on a mouse pad for myself.
Oh my gosh, that's right. You do actually. You have merch.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. Do you need me? Oh. Okay, question. How long should we let the panels dry before using them? I think it depends. For me, it depends. I say that because anywhere from like the one I just did with you all is dry and ready to use. So
yeah.
If you get too many clumps, then it might be tacky, take longer. I don't know. What do you think, Tiffany?
Yeah, there's not really, I find I just use it right away pretty much.
Yeah. The, also we had a couple tips in the Facebook group about using, like a throwaway tin that you can use. Someone else, what was another idea? Just, some wax paper too, right here. I just see. So really anything that you're working on too, by the way, that was just going back to that with their surface they're working on. Sorry.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There's a lot of different surfaces you can, but didn't you do like a mug or something like that?
I did. Oh, no. I did. Porcelain is so fun. So if you go to
that's
the Dollar
right.
Tree,
Yeah.
I picked up for Thanksgiving nameplates. They were ornaments and they were porcelain, or not porcelain, ceramic, but they weren't the matte ceramic. They had put a coating on them. And so I was able to make fall colors, and then I used my Cricut and cut out their name. And that was like a gift and a placemat setting.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was super fun.
That's cool.
All right. Let me see your face, Tiffany.
Oh, yeah. I'm sweating bullets over here, though. Let me switch back.
Okay, there she is.
Let me
Okay,
move my microphone. Yep.
very cool. Can I have my big, large panel over there, please? So, Tiffany, any like closing comments of class and things you want us to walk away with?
Yours is so pretty. You'll have to post those colors too.
I will.
It's
I
so
put
pretty.
them all away, so good luck to me.
I do that all the time, but I've learned because even if I just post like a story on Instagram or something, someone's always going to ask. And I'm like, I don't know. I was just playing. So I always try to write it down on the back.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Closing last, I would just play. And then the main thing is like I could see on Mary's like the wispy thing going on the purple right there. It's so pretty. Just moving your like this, not all the like this, and then back and forth and just playing around and also giving yourself grace just to, it took me many, many, many years of these panels going in the trash to figure out my groove. And some people do it faster. I mean, look at Mary. She picked it up like that. So yep.
It's the amount of desperation I had in my heart.
You're so funny. Yeah.
Oh, good. That's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I concur. I think I'm so new at this and it's just so exciting and fun. So I truly we have the questions that we didn't get to address in here. Please don't let them go unanswered. You can reach out via email direct to me at mary@marypolancodesigns.com. Adi is going to put that in the chat if you heard my snap. And then also the Facebook group, post your questions in there. And we'll definitely, please don't let any question go unanswered. And Tiffany, thank you
You're so welcome. I'm so honored that you have me over here in your community. Your community is amazing. I see some familiar names too, but your community is amazing. Mine is too.
They really are.
The whole crafting community is amazing.
Honestly, truly, it's just such a joy. So thank you. And I truly appreciate your time and your energy and just sharing your skills. And I love that they have this replay. They can go back and watch it as many times as they want. So
I hope I helped people to, if nothing else, be a little more confident just to try and just play. Because that's how you're going to learn is just play and use your stuff. So
and feel encouraged by all of us to do it. So all right, so we'll say bye to Tiffany, but don't go anywhere because we're going to do some giveaways and we're going to set you up for what's coming next before break. So thank you so much, Tiffany.
You're welcome.
We'll see you in the next one.
Tiffany.
Bye.
Bye.
You got to remove her. She come. Okay, so Adia, can you put my email in the chat, please? Mary@marypolancodesigns.com. All right, so that was so fun. Okay, I learned a lot more again. So that was perfect. And some might say I selfishly had her come in so that I can ask her direct questions, but I would say no, I did it for all of us. All right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go on break. We're going to take a 15-minute break and we are going to come back and I am going to go over some ideas for how to make your backgrounds that you made today into cards. And I also, if you've been lively in the chat, I want you to still be lively and share your ideas and how things are going to kind of go for you. But the download that you'll see that you all received, this is my download. It's growing. So now we're up to 10 pages and we have 27 different ways to finish off your cards. So you don't have to print this. You can just pull up the PDF and grab an idea and go with it. But that's what we're going to talk about now. Adi, if you can type this in the chat, I'm going to be using to walk us through a few different techniques. I'm going to be using a 3D embossing folder that's floral. I'm going to be using a larger sentiment die and a couple smaller sentiment dies and a piece of vellum that is going to frame my background. So it's going to be an A2 size and it's going to have a frame of just vellum around it. So I'm going to show you what that could look like. So those are just some things I'm going to be pulling out. I like that I didn't give you specific things to finish your cards off, because I think this is an exercise in kind of getting outside the box and just seeing what you have to work with. Okay. So that'll be in the chat. And we're going to take 15. Adia is going to put up a timer here on the screen. We will be back in 15 minutes when the timer goes off, and we will see you then. When we come back, we'll do some more giveaways and head right back into it.
Oh, before
Before
that,
that?
do 2 giveaways.
Do 2 giveaways?
Yes, because I have a couple links on in the chat.
Oh, the boss is telling me to do 2 giveaways. Okay, so we're going to do 2 giveaways. We left off at Kaylin, I believe. Okay, so the next giveaway is going to be Sizzix Stamp and Stencil Tool, the big and huge Sizzix Stamp and Stencil Tool. That's going to go to Paula Barclay. So congratulations, Paula. And then the cover plate dies. I have a envelope full of, I think, 5 or 6 cover plate dies, different images, and that's going to go to Heather. And if her email starts with lift2. So lift.to. So we will contact you, but Heather is the winner for that. And you wanted to put links in there?
I just put the link to download.
Oh, okay. Oh, you needed more time. You needed me
Yeah.
to stall.
Yes, Mother.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Executive Assistant. We'll see you back after our break. Do you want to mute us?
I will, Mother. Patient.
Oh, sorry. Hello, we are back. Are we back?
We are back.
Extra camera?
Yeah.
Share.
Oh, my bad. Okay, we got it.
Okay, hello, welcome back. Welcome back. Okay. I hope that was a good break. It was one of our longer breaks. So I think that was good to get kind of everything cleared out and cleaned up. Well, within reason, as much as we're going to do. So we're going to do a couple more giveaways here before we get back into class because it's super fun and we have so many. And I need to make sure that we go through them. Someone asked, how do they enter the giveaway? Anybody who bought a ticket to the class is entered into the giveaway. So you didn't have to do anything special. It was that simple. Please don't mess with that though, only because if it's the cords. Yeah? Okay. Okay. All right. So with the next two winners, we have, it just says die sets because I put a bunch of different various dies into a little package, a bundle package. And that's going to go to Denise and Deborah Panter. Denise didn't put her last name, but the email starts with COM. Again, you'll be reached out to. So yay to you both. We have a You're So Sweet stamp and die set. This is from scrapbook.com. It's like fruit themed and summer themed. And that's the stamp and die that's going to go to Sherry Dexter. And we have a $25 gift card to first name Missy. And you'll, the first part of the email is Melissa. And so you'll get notified as well. Okay. So congratulations to all those winners. The $25 gift card is actually, we'll talk via email. You can let me know if you want it to Amazon or scrapbook.com. All righty, Rooski. Let me just mark my little sheet here. Now, let's get into talking about how to finish off the background. So this part, I think, is so fun to me because it used to induce a lot of anxiety. But now I've embraced some shortcuts and just to kind of figure out a way to get using my panels. So let's do a me small up in the corner there and the mat bigger. Perfect. All right. So let's look at what we have. I'm going to show you some examples first. Again, the download, Adia put that link into the chat, but you have it via email also, but for quick access, it's in the chat again. This has been super helpful for even me. And so I created this resource for myself because I find myself getting stuck. So the PDF, when you have it, I did a couple things with the PDF. Number one, you have a visual here. You also have a title that's underlined. If you click that title, it's going to take you to a place to see closer photos, more photos of that, and the supplies that were used, which is not the point at all to the thing, but just in case you were curious. But that will give you some more pictures there. Basically, I go through this. I'm like, what am I in the mood to make? And what does my background look like? And what does it call for? And so that's sort of how I start the process, which is something I don't really think we talk a lot about in our community, is how do you come up with the ideas? So I'm going to kind of walk you through my process of how I do that. Oh, good, Mary. I'm glad it's useful. So thank you for letting me know. So how I would do that. Well, let me give you an example. Okay. So today together, we made this background, right? I made this background here. To me, I will take a look at it first and I'll say, okay, this to me looks like, I don't want to really hide or cut up most of this because I love the way that the look came out. But also it looks almost like a circle type of look, right? And can I keep that? Is it possible to keep this whole panel? So I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to show you how. Now, I thought that last week also when I created this panel, which I then cut down into an actual circle because it came out like a circle. So I just cleaned it up, made it into a circle. I used this particular die right here to do that, which gave me the outline of right here, and it cut around the circle. And then I cut it again with some coordinating color cardstock so I can get that sort of pretty scallop, right? And then I just wanted to keep it simple. I didn't want to cover this up too much. So I did a little embellishment. I did a little sentiment. And I made my first 6x6 card. Do I have an envelope for that? Sure don't. But I'm going to make one. So that's how I was able to keep this whole background and make it work for me, right? That's illustration number 1. Now, I'm not going to dye this cut with a circle necessarily, but I am going to show you how I'm going to cut this down. So I am going to pick out some things I think might make it pop. So here I have some black mirror cardstock that I just don't use and have so much of it. I have some holographic cardstock that I think is going to pull out some of those fun colors, some metallics. And then I have this. Now I'm going to use the same die, hello and hello, right? So I have this outline die and this inside intricate piece, right? So I'm going to, first of all, keep my panel at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but I am going to cut this down so that it's framed back here. Now, here's a pro tip. Once I cut this down and I know I'm not going to be showing this centerpiece, you can just take your, whatever one I was going to die cut through there and just cut it right through there, or cut out maybe a rectangle and keep some of that inside. So that's a pro tip if you wanted to do that. So I'm going to pull out my little mini die cutting machine here. It's just easy for me to kind of grab for that. Let me see if there's any questions. What are Mary and Tiffany using for gold? So Judy, I used the gilded color for my gold. And then I used the smolder for the alcohol pearl ink. Okay. All right. Who has those select dies? Oh, you have Cordelia. You have that set of dies? Yeah. That's a really pretty set. It's huge. So many dies in there. So I'm just going to run this through. All right. And then I'm also, while I'm here, just going to cut through my holographic color. See if there's any questions coming up. I have a bigger die cutting machine next to me that we're going to use for embossing, but this will do for now. You're very welcome for the PDF. The PDF is super helpful for me. I know I use it all the time. And I created them in the past, but I forget what I do. So it's helpful to kind of have a one-stop for it. I also have a stencil one, different ways to use stencils. And so if you'd like that one too, maybe somebody remind me in the Facebook group and I could post it in there. So that's a whole nother PDF with different designs, which you can still use for what we're doing here, right? Okay, so now I have my little cutout here. All right, and I love that holographic mirror cardstock. I think that's just so fun. That's one of those things that I do keep using throughout. Now, you don't have to throw this away. You can actually use this as a stencil and use some ink background on there and get sort of like on your back panel a stencil look. So, okay, glossy cardstock hack I discovered on YouTube. Laminate any paper to create a glossy surface before die cutting. Oh, I love that. That's a great hack. Awesome hack. So now I'm going to cut down my panel. So I want this smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Can I just say
That you love me?
that I love you?
No.
How did you know?
Thank you.
You're just a mind reader.
Okay.
That's not what I was going to say, but I do love her very much. I was going to say, what a beautiful day it is outside, but yours is much better. I have like this breeze coming in right now from outside. It's gorgeous. So I don't want to cut off too much. So if I'm going to make this 5 1/2 this way, it's already cut that way. So I don't want to just lop off all of it at once to make it 4 1/4. I'm going to actually stop where I would not want to cut it off, right? And then I'm going to flip it and line it up to 4 1/4 that way. Okay. Oh, I actually wanted to go smaller than 4 1/4 because I want to mat it on the black just to kind of make it coordinating and pull it through. So I'm going to go,
Big question.
I'm going to go 4 by 5 1/4. Go ask the question.
I tried both die cutting and using embossing folder and really having trouble getting impressions on both.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to let prints dry longer? I ran them through several times.
Such a great question. So I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot to mention it. The graphics and the Yupo and that really synthetic paper that's like plastic is going to give you a harder time to get to die cut through, but also to get impressions. So there's a couple things you would think of impressions wise. Do you have to put in another shim to make it press harder? With die cutting, sometimes it's just not going to die cut through, which is an idea I'm going to show you next of how we can use that to our benefit, depending on what we're using. Now, poster board is going to cut through perfectly because it's cardstock on the other side, and it's also going to heat emboss well. So just keep those things in mind too. Yupo paper will melt if you try to heat emboss it. Really good question. Okay, if that question, Karen's for me. Oh, Adi already answered it. Okay,
Mary
so
lives in Maryland.
Mary lives in Maryland. Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to get out a panel real quick just so I can kind of gauge what I'm working on here. Also the white. All right, so this is my card panel. Now I'm going to actually make this, I want it so that I see most of it. Now you can do it this way or top folding. Either way is fine. I kind of like, let me see how it looks. So now I have my black and we have this, and see, we have a card coming together. Now, one of the reasons I picked black was because of that purple in the background. I just feel like the black against it makes it pop really, really well. Thank you, Tiffany. I had a great teacher.
What is the small trimmer you use?
So the small trimmer, it is the Tonic 8.5-inch paper trimmer. SBC carries it, and I think it's in stock, actually. Adi is going to put that in the chat for you if you're interested in it. So yes, loving the way that this is popping. This is not my normal type of look, actually. This is kind of, I really wouldn't usually choose black like this. So I'm here for it.
No.
No?
No, I said, no, I got it.
Did you find it?
Yep.
Let me see which one it is, though, because sometimes they're, yep, that's the one. Okay, so I'm going to just use, oh, we have a glue press winner today. I hope you like your glue press. Kay, who won? And I'm just going to mat this, right? I like to work with liquid glue. It gives me a little wiggle room. Because this is going on shiny cardstock, I'm just going to place this on top of it just for a minute while I get the other stuff ready. Yes. Good. Okay, good. So we're feeling it. For some of us, it's this kind of our style. For pro tip for really intricate, I like to use tweezers, the ones that are reverse tweezers. I find those to be great. Now, I will be honest with you folks. I think the glue press is great for a lot of things, but for really intricate areas, fine tip, I think this one is a finer tip and I like it better. So I use my fine tip from my Barely Art glue. I don't know. I never have any issues with my Barely Art. It's never clogs on me. Well, I keep the pin in it. Also, you want to make sure if you're going to use a pin, not to get the ones that will rust, you need a stainless steel pin. Okay. So keep that in mind. I'm going to place this right on top. Any questions coming in, love?
Do you know the equivalent of poster board in the UK?
Oh, boy, I sure don't. I'm so sorry. Maybe someone else does.
Will there be a replay for registered people? I miscalculated the time change.
100% yes. You'll just use the same link to get back into class and watch the replay. You might need to give it a few hours before the live chat comes up, but it will be back. Bristol board, Lori? Are you answering someone's question? Maybe you're answering the UK equivalent. Okay, so we have that down. Now you can do a couple things. You can pop this up to make it stand out or just lay it down flat. I'm going to lay mine down flat, and then we're going to embellish it. See if we have anything in our embellishment stash that would be a nice addition, but not overload it. Now, notice I put it down in the corner, and I did that so that we're not covering the majority of that. So that was by choice there. Now, let me see. What would you add? Now, I love the holographic look of this hello. And so I actually have sort of iridescent holographic pearls. Let me show those to you. You see these right here? Okay. Adi has to mute me every time she coughs. Sorry about that. So we have those. So I'm thinking let's just have a look and see what these look like. I might actually consider leaving it with no embellishments for now. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can just decide later to do nothing to leave as is, right? So what do you all think? I'm also going to see about, here's something I purchased from Amazon. These are one of the best embellishments and the cheapest that I've ever gotten. And they're perfect for 90% of my cards. They are nail art diamonds. So they're flat on one side because they go on your nails and they're different sizes. So those are perfect. Will all the chat also replay? Yes, it will. You just got to give it a couple hours to get kicked in, and then it will show. Silver gems. Let's try silver gems and see what those look like. And then we won't lock anything down. We'll kind of just leave it as is, and I'll move on to the next idea. But let's see what silver looks like. Ooh, silver is pretty because the holographic really does look silver. But then I suffer from placement issues. Where do I put them? Okay. And it doesn't matter. It's homemade. But yeah, I like the silver. I think I like the silver better. Good tip. All right. So that's sort of one card idea for something, seeing it in real time and seeing what we were able to make today. Yeah, I love the silver. Silver's good. Good choice. Loving the organic spread of color on Mary's background panel. Thank you. Yes. Any questions? Adia?
Nope.
No questions.
Nope.
If you've been to any of our classes before, first of all, welcome back. But we have a tradition where after class, we get sushi for all of our hard work. It's fun. And so today, because we have an event at our son's school about an hour after we close up here.
Our son? I have power now.
No, not you. We had my husband go pick it up. So I think he's probably back soon with that. Okay. Have you tried using something squishy like packaging foam sheets over the card in the envelope? That works for me. Oh, someone was talking about embellishments probably when you're mailing. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's really good. Even another piece of cardstock helps to be able to alleviate some of that, especially them poking through. Okay, let's move on to idea number 2. So idea number 2 is where we can use something that might seem frustrating to us, the fact that like the graphics doesn't necessarily die cut that easily, to our benefit. All right. And so I would say when I tried, my original idea was to die cut this word celebrate through the center and then have some color cardstock in the back. So it didn't cut through. And so it kind of warped it even when I did it. But I thought that's pretty cool looking, actually. It looks like an embossed word. Obviously, we can read it, right? And so what I did was I took some double-sided foam tape that helped flatten it out quite a bit, and then just put that on a slimline card. Now, I chose a slimline card because of the way that when I was creating, it was creating a longer look I didn't want to cut up. And so that's why I chose the slimline for this. So again, lends to the idea of why it was so difficult for me to pre-plan out any of our cards because we don't know what we're going to get. Then I added a congrats right here, just on the bottom. You can put whatever you want. You could say happy birthday and, whatever to you, like whatever, right? Lots of ideas. So yeah, right. Emblem lit. That's exactly right. That's what I was trying to do. It's just kind of like, hey, it didn't work out. What can I still? Because I'll tell you something I wasn't going to do. I was not throwing that panel away. So sometimes you just got to make it work. Okay, let's take a look. I don't need to demonstrate that one necessarily, but we are going to look at this demo. Hey, can you pay attention to the questions, though? I think we might be missing some, just in case.
I'm trying. Papa's texting me, though.
Oh, Poppy's texting you? Okay. Well, go ahead and answer that. It's fine. He must need something.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to walk through an embossing option. So this was, I think this was actually poster board, which I got a really good, yeah, this was the graphics paper. See, it got the graphics paper here, but it's very subtle. It's very subtle on both, actually, but it is something. Do you see that? How that looks right there? So I think you're going to get a different look again, depending on what you're doing. So I would choose my finishing off style based on also these elements, what paper did I use? What do I want to highlight? So I'm going to run through this piece right here. So these are two different pieces. This is Brea Reese, thinner, but sort of that synthetic paper. And then this is the graphics. Okay. So look at these. Now, what comes to mind? I'm going to take a pause here for a second because I want you to think about, I want to hear your ideas in the chat. What comes to mind when you see a look like this? Anything. There's obviously no wrong answer. What do you see when you look at those backgrounds? I know I have my ideas. Adia, what do you see when you look at those backgrounds?
I see a jellyfish.
Jellyfish?
And then I also see, yeah. Oh, it was the ocean. Okay, that's good because I was going for ocean.
Ocean, right? Pool water. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah, I used 3D. Tiffany says she used 3D embossing folder. So did I. I used it and it came out pretty well. I think my alcohol ink was kind of all over the place though on that one. An ice cube on the right. Oh, cool. Very cool. So the mermaid, ocean, yes, Caribbean. Okay, the reason I'm asking that question is because start there and then you can get inspired on how to finish off your card. So for me, I'm going to run this through a floral die embossing just so you can see what it looks like. But if I'm going to take one of these because I have an extra one here and I would make this a shaker card and make it a ocean scene. So that's sort of what I would right off the bat. And I think a lot of us saw that, right? A rose. Yes. Very good. Oh my, we are. Blue has a deck for jumping off in a lake. Look at this. This is fantastic. I love this. This is like a therapy session when they show that picture with the ink spots. All right. So let's just run it through so we can see. I'm going to run through the graphics here. I've chosen the Ultinew Decorative Florals 3D embossing folder to kind of run us through. What does Poppy need?
He is stupid.
So, hey, don't say that.
I texted him 30 minutes ago. I was like, just to make sure he didn't forget. I was like, don't forget my food. Then he texted just now. He said, I'm sorry. I said, oh, what happened? He said, I forgot. And he's 40 minutes away.
Okay. He's probably kidding. Anyway.
He said, yeah. Oh, of course he's kidding.
Oh, okay. I know. He's giving you a heart attack. That's how he does. He's got to give you a hard time, especially for saying something like, where's my food? I'd give you a hard time for that too. Okay. So I'm going to run this through whatever your sandwich is going to be. This one feels a little loose. So I'm actually going to go back and stick a shim in there, even though it says this is what I should be using. I don't know. Maybe there is a perfect die cutting machine out there for every single possible sandwich, but I do like the idea of the Gina K one where it kind of dials in the pressure. That's kind of cool. But anyway, I'm going to run this through, see if I get
Question.
that pressure might be too tight. Yes.
Do you spritz with water before you emboss?
I never have, but I would love to hear people in the chat who do that and your results, because I don't really have cracking problems. So I've never done it. I think I've tried it and I didn't see a difference. I tried it and I didn't see much of a difference. So I just let it go. But yes, I've heard that helps prevent cracking. So if you're getting cracking, it might be the cardstock you're using. Just try that spritzing technique. Okay. So this is the graphics. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And so I'm thinking that when you have a lighter mix of alcohol, you're going to be able to see your embossing a whole lot better. So I think that's great. I think that's so pretty, right? And so then what you can do is, like I said before the break, I took a vellum piece that's cut to this similar, I think it's cut a little shorter, to the size, and you can use that as a frame. So you get to keep your whole background of alcohol ink. You get to keep your embossing folder background, and then you can just soften it up a little bit like this and maybe add your sentiment. Maybe you have some die cuts in florals that you want to add. You can take some silver to make it coordinate. You can take some silver embossing powder and maybe dip the edges. This is a trick I like to do where I kind of edge out this frame, because then I can use liquid adhesive behind the silver embossing powder, and that will hide. You won't be able to see it and it'll stick down. So that is another idea to finish off your card while also being able to keep the majority of your background, which is really kind of what you want when you're doing this. So a couple other ideas. Remember how we mentioned using a word die? This one would cut through. This is the graphics as well, so it wouldn't cut all the way through. That's sort of, I took Adia's piece here and wanted to just show you. I didn't do it, but that's another way we would do the sentiment right here. And then if you just pull out or look up your piece here, if I have a background that I want to keep the majority of it, or at least split it between cards, maybe I can take my alcohol background and do a diagonal cut right here. That way I get to keep 2 cards, right? One has my alcohol inked background, the other maybe a solid color here. And now I have 2 cards from one panel, and I got to keep all the beauty from the background, right? So that is another idea. Lots and lots of ideas. There's so much you can do. It's kind of limitless. So let me pause there, and I'm going to go into Adia. Can you make it so that's opposite?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, love. Thank you, love.
Okay.
Okay. So those are some ideas to finish off your cards. I do like the way this one came out. I got to finish 1 card today. Yay. I've already seen on break, I went into the Facebook group and I already see so many posts about your backgrounds, and they are glorious. So I cannot wait to sit down with Facebook later and have a look. If you don't hear from me in the next few hours, it's because we have to go to this event. But all right, so let's hear from you. How was today? What was your biggest takeaway from the class? I'd love to hear that. Also, we're not going to go just yet. I have some giveaways and just some things I want to talk about before we go. But what's your biggest takeaway? What did you learn? I really learned more of a mental thing today, of just like even feeling pressure that wasn't there. I was putting it on myself because I was learning just alongside of you all too. So to not put so much pressure on myself and to enjoy the process. And then, like I said, when I was showing the big piece, to kind of practice those areas, right? Adia put a survey link in the chat. We always want to hear from you, and you don't have to leave your email or anything. It's anonymous, but we always want to hear how we can make things better and what more you want to see from us. So we really take what you say and implement it as fast as we possibly can if it works for us. And so, yeah, experiment. Yes. Facebook link isn't on drop down that I can see. Oh, it's not in the description box. No, but Adia will add it now. Taking your time, play around. Don't stress. Little pumps. That's a huge one. I was doing way too fast, right? We might find fault, but others will see the beauty. Oh, so great. I learned a lot about how to feather the ink. Yeah, the wispy look. I'm not all that great at this, but I had fun. Yay! Thanks. Yes, absolutely. So the Facebook group is in there now. First time that I used my alcohol ink since buying them a year ago. Well, good. I'm glad we got you to get those out and play with them. Shake up your alloys. How to do wisps. Don't be afraid to try things. Yes. Oh, these are so great. I pump too fast. I know. When to use ISO versus blending. Oh, good. Lots of takeaway. Tiffany, if you're there listening, look at all these takeaways. You're just the best. Thank you. Yes, so much. I know. As soon as I took her class, I was like, come on over. So grateful that she said yes. More alcohol than ink. Yeah. Can I add foil to my panel? Julie, yes, you absolutely can. Couple ideas for that. One, if it's still tacky and you're waiting for it to dry, do it then. Another is to take some tape, or excuse me, glue that dries tacky, like Tombow, scrapbook.com makes one. It's called Smart Glue. And just blot it on certain parts of your panel. Let that dry tacky and then do the foil. Yay! Oh, Tiffany's here. Okay. Wear gloves. Very cool. Yes. Okay. Should we go? Good. Okay. So good. So many takeaways. I'm so grateful to hear that. I know I got another boost in confidence to play with my alcohol inks. So I'm just going to have to be having so much fun. Yep. Blending is required for pearls. I know. Oh, thanks for that, Mary. All right, so good. This has been great. So let's do some of our final giveaways. Pop your questions in there. Adia is going to be looking out for questions while I do a few more giveaways here.
Oh, one question I don't know the answer to.
Okay.
What side do you use in poster board, shiny or matte?
Shiny. Use the shiny side for poster board. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. So we have a $25 gift card to your choice of place, Michelle Wimpelberg. Congratulations, Michelle. We have Ann Petty wins a gift card as well. And then Brandy Case wins a binder adhesive tool bundle. This box of goodies is pretty large. So whatever you don't use or need or want, donate it, but it is chock full of just stuff. I hope you love it. And then we have a 9x12 ultra sticky mat. Anyone interested in that? We have a winner for it, but for those of you that don't know, I'm going to show it to you. So Altenew came out with a new size of sticky mat. It is this one right here. Can you switch cameras? All right, so it's this one right here. It's the 9x12 ultra sticky mat. They are out of stock in a lot of places, but I grabbed up two. One for me, one for you. When I could. And the way I like to store my sticky mats is in a plasticky envelope because I don't like to keep pulling on and off the acetate. So that's going to come with the prize. And the winner for the sticky mat is Jackie Buss. Jackie Buss wins that one. So congratulations, Jackie. Switch cameras, please. Yay. Yeah, so I love the grip mat. I have to say this is probably one of my favorite trendy, quote unquote, new things on the crafty market. I really love it. I actually have been trying, you know me, I've been over here trying to figure out a good alternative because they're a little pricey. So I'm like, how can we do this? And there's a lot of ways. There's old sticky mats from your Cricut machine. There are ways, but I'm trying to get something very similar to this. So stay tuned. I know I use my grip mat all the time. Oh, okay. Yay. Congratulations to all the winners. Okay. Any final questions about class? Yes, honey?
I have a present for you.
You have a present for me? Oh, look at the present she just gave me.
Let me switch cameras.
Oh, look at this. Mom, I love you more.
Yeah.
This is quite a beautiful card, Adia. Mm-hmm. Did you make it?
No. I found it on your desk.
You found it on my desk. I made it a long time ago, actually. I really like this card. Look at that. Okay. Thank you for the gesture. Yes. I appreciate you. Oh, that's another thing too. Today's alcohol backgrounds, they lend a lot to a feminine type of card. So lots of Mother's Day cards you can make coming up. All right, let's see. Jelly Plate large one works great. I know it does. I showed that in a video. It's just not as cheap as I was hoping it would be. I'm looking for something like super cheap. But you can make your own. A lot of people were telling me that's kind of cool. All right. I just don't want to mess with all that stuff. So, okay. Any questions coming in? Winners we will reach out to you later on today or tomorrow to confirm receipt of your prize and let us know where to send them. The replay is available to you whenever you want to watch it. You just use the same link as you did to get in here. And you have access to us via Facebook page, our group that we have. And then also you can direct email me if things come up, if you're watching the replay and you have questions. If they weren't answered in the chat, by all means, please don't let any question go unanswered. That's the whole point of joining a class. Gina, she did choose a pretty one to re-gift. Yes. So thank you to everyone who joined us. Thank you for all your love and support and for all the positivity that you are putting out there for us, for the community, for me. You just fill my cup every single day. I appreciate you so much. So last thing, Kim, or one of the last questions I see popping up, Kim asked, can you use the alcohol ink with stencils? That would be tricky unless you have some sticky on the back of your stencil to lay it down flat onto your surface. To me, they would probably find its way to leak under, but give it a try, see what you get. Maybe you can get like an abstract stencil look. Those are not on Facebook. Can you send that recipe? Susie, I'm not sure which one. Can you clarify? Could you use alcohol lift with the stencils? You could use alcohol lift with stencils. Yes, that's a great idea. Perfect. Yeah. I'll just wait and see if Susie writes again to see if we clarify her question. Because remember, we're on a little bit of a delay. Adia, thank you. You're getting lots of thank yous.
Yeah.
Yay. We appreciate you too. Yes, Tiffany. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. I'm so grateful you were here. Okay. I don't see it coming back in from Susie. So use the felt and add alcohol ink through a stencil. Oh, great. There you go. Tiffany gave you an idea. All right. Okay. Is it the blending solution recipe? Oh, can someone add that? Maybe she's not on Facebook. I didn't know. But if you wait for the live chat to reload, I'm sure you can probably find the recipe. Oh, I know there's a lot of chatting going on, but post a link to the face group, please. Yes, here it comes. There you go. Any future classes? Yes, we have a class every month scheduled for the rest of the year, pretty much. And I will add that to the Facebook group as well. I will also send an email to all attendees today, like a post email with the survey and with, extra stuff that we might have talked about. So you'll look out for your email for that. And but remind me if you don't get the layout for the classes coming up. We don't have dates solidified, but we have ideas. Okay, thank you, Ruth, for putting that in there. 6 ounce, 91% alcohol to 6 drops of glycerin. Thank you, thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you in the next one or over on YouTube or Facebook.
Bye.
Bye.